Hey everyone, I don't know if this is going to work because it says I'm unable to connect to chat. Please try later. Well, later is not when I'm having my live stream, YouTube. I'm having my live stream now. Anyway, I don't see any comments and I see 6 people waiting. So somebody leave me a comment. I have a feeling I may have to do something else. I don't know. End the stream and start again. I really don't know. Okay. I have a feeling that somebody has probably left a comment and I can't see anything. Oh dear, what am I going to do? Oh. The connection is unstable. Well, I've got 11 people on and 11 people can see me and I can't see what you're saying in the live chat. So 13 people have joined because YouTube just put out a notification that I was on, and I can't do anything because I can't see the chat. So I cannot participate with you. 17 people. I'm probably going to have to start it again, although I don't know if it'll be any better. The internet is not great here. And since we had a storm this morning, I thought, well, do I try to do it over at my mother's facility over there? They have good Wi-Fi there, but you're not supposed to be hanging around the public areas, and it was raining outside. So I thought I'll try to do it here. And now we have 16 people and I can't see the chat. So I know, and Haffy says this place is not what do you call it? Prime time ready, you know? Wait. That's slightly better. Haffy is saying, do I have, and that's another thing is I am, just leave that comment, Haffy. I can't see that. Is that Facebook Messenger? I'm out of data because this trip has taken a toll on my data, as you can imagine. I'm going to move away from the window a little bit. That is too bright. You see, I would do all of this before I go live, except that YouTube doesn't show you what I can see now. So 18 of you are on, and I cannot see what you're saying. So I hope that you'll, we do have a moderator on. So let's just stay on. I hate to jump ship and then start another one. It confuses people. You know, people just tuning in or people watching later. And I'll just give you a quick update and maybe I can do another one later. I don't know, from over there. So 20 people are watching. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you supporting this channel and supporting my my work to try to inspire people to grow their own food and take back their food security. That's my #1 goal. And of course, to get young people interested in gardening and where their food comes from. Okay. Thank you, Haffy. Haffy, when you send those, if you just send a message with like 3 words or 4 words or something, I can see that on there. I don't know where else to see it. Maybe I can see it on here now. Oh, okay. Of course I have live chat enabled. It's unable to connect to chat because I don't have a good connection. I don't know why. I could end the stream and start over. Would you like me to do that? There's 22 of you on. I know it's confusing for me to do that, but the live chat window is here, but it's possibly because of the weather and the not so great internet here. Anyway, I was saying the update on my situation here is I am in week 3 and this little apartment suite, and I don't know what how for it may be. Haffy is our moderator, is sending me messages on Messenger, which I see here, and using my data, which I have about that much left to last me till the 22nd. Okay, so my data plan runs out. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but your data plan does not include telephoning and texting. It only includes social media, YouTube, Messenger, streaming YouTube, watching YouTube videos, and all that sort of thing. So I've asked my friends not to send me links to friends that have my cell phone text, who don't text me links to watch on my phone because it uses data. That's what uses data. And I used to be confused thinking that texting added to that, but it doesn't. My plan is unlimited text, unlimited phone calls, and data is what they charge you for. So, okay, where was I? Now, Daryl is watching because we've communicated this morning, and Daryl, my friend in Cookville, and I'm sure Denise is there too. Daryl may be disappointed to hear this, but I have expanded my search from Putnam County to Murray County. And Murray County is closer to my family, and it's still somewhat reasonable. There are some problems with Murray County because water is, I forget which county is below. There's a lot of farms in Sparta for sale, and farmland, I should say. And very often what farmers are doing, the rest of the farm with farm buildings and so forth, what I'm finding is several of the farms that I was considering are very depleted. I sent the lifetime grazing of grass-fed beef, and his whole raison d'etre, if you know that French term, reason to be, is to regenerate the soil. And we don't want to call it sustainable anymore. We don't want to sustain what we have on the land. We want to regenerate the land. And see, 2 of these farms I was looking at were really beat up. 3 of them. One of them, they had allowed their cattle to just go down to the stream wherever, and the entire riparian habitat along the stream was destroyed. And I know about this because my son worked at a grass-fed nonprofit ranch right out of Stanford, and one of their environmental goals was to regenerate the ranch. And the riparian habitat along stream beds, I mean, that includes insects and living creatures, microorganisms in the stream, in the water, along the stream, the banks, the plants, all of it. The plants support bugs and insects, and all of that is really destroyed if you allow cattle to just walk down to the stream any old place and get a drink of water. So what they were doing at their ranch was, they had watering stations for cattle all over, and the stream was actually fenced off, so they couldn't do that. That's what the exciting thing about all this is. I was thinking, oh my gosh, with my limited set of funds, I could perhaps buy one of these farms and regenerate it for future generations. And that could be my big claim to fame in the last phase of my working life. And I don't know if I have the strength and the I mean, I just don't know if I can do it. First of all, I haven't found the perfect place. And Walker said yesterday that this one farm that I could afford to buy didn't have a house on it. Number one, didn't have a house on it, so I'd have to do something about that. And second, it was very depleted, very beat up. So it would take a lot of work to get that back in shape. So I am still all over the place in terms of looking for a property, and I'm looking at almost anything that's 2 acres and above, because I do want some space around me. I mean, if I'm going to have a homestead, I want it to be quiet. I don't want noise. I've had noise my entire adult life, from Washington, D.C. to Manhattan to I lived below Hollywood for 4 years, and then Pacific Palisades was under 3 flight paths, even though the neighborhood itself was quiet. Every single day there's leaf blowers and lawnmowers and you name it, construction. There was such a construction push in the last decade out there. I mean, the minute some older person decided to sell their property and either go into nursing home or someone passes away, that property is torn down and another house goes up, and so there's always construction, noise, and dust and all that stuff. And what I'm finding is, because a lot of these farmers have sold out, they've sold to developers, and they've made it into tracts, lots of anywhere from 2.5 to 5 acre lots, and they're selling off these lots to developers to try to, or they're selling the lots, and you find your own builder. And so once again, even if I got one of these 5 acre lots, then I'm dealing with construction and most likely HOAs. That's a deal breaker. I'm not living in an HOA. You can't make me. I'll stay in my apartment in California before I'll live in an HOA and have somebody say, you can't plant tomato plants in your front yard. That ain't happening. Or blueberry bushes or whatever. Speaking of blueberries, did everyone see my short, delectable video this morning? I hope. I have got to get a video that does well and gets me back on the charts with YouTube. So I hope you'll watch that and share it. It's short, it's delectable, and I can't even tell you how good that was. Oh my gosh. The blueberries just, they're still a little bit formed, but all that juice goes into that biscuit-like dough. And because I used raw sugar and einkorn flour, which is more of Young Living has an einkorn flour that is more like stone ground whole wheat. So it's heavier and coarser, has a texture to it. And oh my gosh, that absolutely, you saw that thing, right? Well, so I ate Yeah, I ate over half of that in 24 hours, and I gave like a little over a quarter of it to my neighbor. I ate about 2/3 of that in 24 hours. It was incredible. And the thing is, when you use really high quality ingredients like that, that have all the, that aren't stripped of the nutrients, you feel like, okay, even though this is sweet and delectable and it's really a dessert and it's a lot of calories, you know, I'm using organic everything and raw everything, and so I feel like it makes a difference. Now that my picture of the blueberry cobbler was kind of, it would look very different if you had used pure white flour and pure white sugar, So anyway, enough on that. I hope you watch that. I have no idea what anybody is saying, but I know I have a moderator to delete any untoward comments. It's very rare that I get one. I'm very grateful for that and very lucky that the angry people out on the internet have not decided to mess with me and my channel. So what else? So my mother is, this is week 3 that I've been here, and I go over, see, we had set this up before, because before she got, before the virus situation happened, before the lockdown and all that, we had set up, it's called Senior Helpers. So it's an outside service that our family pays for her to have a 4-hour shift from someone with someone coming from 9 to 1, and then she has a 3-hour break, and then 4 to 8. And she does, sleep most of the night, so that kind of covers things. But what I've been doing is I've been showing up, like at noon and staying till 5. And so I've had this amazing, and I feel very privileged to have this opportunity to be with my mother. My mother's has been a very fierce, determined, opinionated person in her life. And now she's just like this gentle and sweet. And I mean, she does still say, I was looking at farms when I was over there at one point, and she said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "Well, I'm looking at a farm. It's got 50 acres. And she said, "Kaye, you don't need 50 acres. So she's right, of course, but I want to do something grand before I die. And I thought, if I regenerate 50 acres and give it back to, give back to the earth, make it, sequester the carbon and regenerate it for future generations, that would be pretty special." And you really can't do that, with 15 or 20, because I don't even know if you can do it with 50, because the reason those farms are depleted is because it's 50 acres, and they probably put cows on it and let them eat it all the way down, and then maybe moved them to another field or something. And they weren't moving them all the time, because if you're interested, and I don't know if you're interested because I don't know what anybody's saying. Thank you to the 27 people who have stayed online and hit the like button, because a cow eats the most nutritious part of the grass is like the top. And if you just leave a cow, a herd, a group of cows, mom calf, whatever, in a field for, like, say, on an acre, and you got an electric rope around it, and you leave them on there for half a day or a day, they're just going to eat that top 4, 5, 6 inches. It's so interesting watching a cow eat grass. If you have never seen it up close, you can go to my playlist with my son. It's about regenerating land or regenerative agriculture, something like that. It's the playlist. There's a handful of videos on there. And one of them, I took a tour of his first ranch. He gave us a tour of the first ranch where he worked. And I got some close-up shots of the cows eating grass, and literally they don't bite it off. Their tongue, they have this big long tongue, and it shoots out of the mouth and it wraps around a group of grasses and like that, and it rips it, and so and they just do off the top of the grasses. But if you let a cow sit in a field for days on end, they'll just keep eating it down. Well, that bottom 3/4 of the grass is mostly cellulose, and it's not the nutrition, doesn't have the protein, doesn't have the nutrition that the cows need, that it doesn't have the best nutrition. But if you keep the cows on the grass just for listen to me, I'm talking like I'm an expert, but I have learned a lot from my son, I got to say. But if you keep the cows, if you're moving the cows and they're eating the tops of the grasses, they're eating the healthiest part of the grass, and they're walking over that 3/4 that they didn't eat. They're shoving that back down into the ground, and that's sequestering carbon, because that bottom 3/4 is where it's mostly carbon, cellulose. So I find the whole thing exciting and fascinating. And if we didn't have ruminants, if we hadn't had ruminants in the name of buffalo, millions of buffalo traveling from the north to the south. The Midwest is the breadbasket of the world, so-called. And we would have never had that if we hadn't had millions of buffalo migrating from the north to the south and back again. And they just eat, and they're always on the move. And we're talking millions. There were millions of buffalo. And that's how we wound up with all the great soil that so-called feeds the world now. So, or anything, but I know she's just not particularly happy here. But she's coping like I'm coping. Yesterday, little drama, because I guess this storm front, I don't know. Anyway, I was taking a bath after I come from my mother's, and there's a pounding on the door, and I'm going, my God, what is that? My gosh, what is that? And it was the maintenance man, because there's water leaking, coming through a light fixture I think it's the housekeeping. It's not a rental place below me. And he was urgently pounding on my door, and it was just, so it turns out, I didn't realize this, but I could have been electrocuted. So there's that, So I am very eager to find a different situation here. But I am looking at Murray County for a number of reasons. I've, got a lot of family close by, and I have a cousin who has a construction company that operates out of Murray County, and she could actually build me a house. And if I could find a piece of land that I was happy with, that wasn't anywhere near an airport, I might do that. Although building a house, that with everything that's coming up and everything that's going on in the world, and the virus, the pandemic, and the fear, and the election coming up, and just all the instability all over the world, it's like not the best time to be building a house, and maybe not even the best time to be buying a house. It may be smarter to wait, but then there's the whole situation with my mother, and then I live in California, so I'm in flux, and I wish I had more hard news, hard developments to report, but I'm still just fishing with a wide net, and so I guess that's about all I was going to talk about. There's 30 people watching. Maybe if we do another live stream later, I can do it over either at the Edwin Warner Park, or I could do it at my mother's facility, and I'll have access to my chat. I hope you've had great questions, and I hope my community, the few people who are on, have helped to answer those questions and make you, if you're new to my channel, I hope you've been made to feel welcome by one of my regular peeps. And stay safe, and thank you for supporting my channel. Please share my videos. I need a lot of support right now with this transition thing that's going on. And oh, and by the way, they told me at the facility yesterday they're going to start making everybody be tested that comes in to visit. So I've managed not to have to do that so far, but I don't know. This woman came in and I don't know, has anybody been tested? Had the test, and how brutal was it? I mean, this nurse came in and there was a new senior helper that came in the afternoon, and it was time they have to be tested once a week. And it was time for her test, and she did it right there in my mother's room, which I thought was very awkward. And, but I was kind of watching, and it was like, she's going, and I saw the woman kind of, and she says, sorry, again, and I'm just like, I'm not sure I want to do that. I don't want to wind up with some sort of brain aneurysm or something. I mean, they shove this thing way up your nose. But anyway, has anyone had it? Is it not that big of a deal? Please leave a message. And what I'll do is later, after this uploads, it takes a little while for these to upload when you sign off. I will look back at the chat, and if there are any specific questions that didn't get answered, I'll try to leave you a comment in the comments below the live stream. So be sure and check back later. But in the meantime, please catch up on recent videos. And I have 2 more videos that I shot. Well, one was shot. I didn't shoot. But there's an update to David's Hillside Garden, which I still haven't edited. They gave me the footage before I left 3 weeks ago. And then I shot a video right before I left, this big monster video right before I left, like here's, I'm leaving the garden, here's what I'm doing kind of thing. And so those 2, and then I've got a tentative plan to film. I've gotten a tentative approval. I just haven't made an appointment, but it sounds like a very good possibility that the Hermitage Hotel is the only 5-star hotel in Nashville, and they are a true farm-to-table restaurant, and they have a true farm-to-table restaurant in the hotel, and their farm is about 45 minutes outside of Nashville. And they outsource their meat now. They used to do their own meat. They don't do that now, but they do all of their vegetables and I guess fruits and stuff. And I'll find out. And so I hope that's something that would be of interest. I have wanted to do a farm to table video for a long time. And doing a 5-star hotel one would be fantastic. So you have that to look forward to. Hopefully before I scoot out of here. I have a plane ticket to go back to LA on Wednesday. It doesn't look like, I don't think that I'll be able to make that flight. I'll probably have to reschedule that and stay in the area for a few more days or weeks. I don't know. So because my mother rallied, I just don't know what to predict now. I don't know what to expect, but she's so much better since I came, and I can't explain it, except that I'm very privileged because we've had this great connection. We were always really close, but I was the child that lived far away and didn't get to spend that much time with my mother. And, she's so used to saying this because of our history, that she still says it even now. Every day I go over there, well, how long are you staying? This would be her question every single time I ever came. And it would always be, well, and then when I would come to see her, I would say, well, I'm going to be here today, but tomorrow I'm going to go over to so-and-so. I'm going to make a video over there, and then I'm going to run out to there, and I'm going to go to there, and I'll be back here for a day, and then I'll go over there. And it was always like that, because I was always just, I had everything just boom, 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 boom. I would just pack as much as I could into every single trip. Here is totally different. She is pretty much bedbound, unless I got her up yesterday, which was the second time she's been out of bed since, other than to go to the restroom, second time that she's been dressed and in the wheelchair and upstairs. And I took her up just so she could see something, look out the window and see something. So there's some really pretty crepe myrtle trees that were outside the door of the lobby in the courtyard. And so, but that's a big outing for her if she goes for like 10, 15 minutes for a ride in the wheelchair. So, but anyway, 3 weeks ago, that wasn't even conceivable. And so she's eating a little bit more. And so I don't know what to predict. And, but it's just been incredible to actually have time where we're just sitting there and I'm just there if she needs me. And so it's been interesting. Anyway, thanks so much for joining. There's 35 people now, and I hope if you just tuned in, I hope you'll go back and watch the beginning. I do not have access to my live chat, so I don't know what anyone has had to say, but I really appreciate you tuning in and offering me support during this incredible upheaval, not only of my life, but so many people's lives because of the virus. But I do want to give you hope, because I and don't succumb to fear, because I really believe that there are, and I'm not a doctor and I'm not recommending anything, but except to do your research. Don't just listen to the fear stuff. There are doctors out there who are doing things, finding success with treatments, different ones, and preventative as well as if you have the virus. And so don't give up, don't give in to fear, and stay safe, stay sane. And God bless you. And thank you for your support. And I'll see you hopefully very soon. Just keep watching my community page. Several people have told me just in the last couple of, like a week, that they didn't realize what my community page is. Every YouTube channel, if you go to their homepage, I can't see what that message is, Steve. So Steve just sent me a message. I suppose I could turn on, maybe it's important. So let me turn on my cellular data so that I can go to Messenger and see if there's an important message from Steve. No, there's nothing. Yeah, maybe it'll come in. I don't know, Steve, sorry. Oh gosh, what was I saying? I was wrapping it up, and I don't know what I was going to say. So thank you so much for everything and for all of your support, and hopefully I'll get the community page, right? So if you go to the home page on any person's channel, large or small, you will see a series of tabs left to right. There will be the long skinny picture at the top, which is called a profile picture. And now I have gnats in here. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, profile picture, and right underneath that, it will say home, it will say videos, playlists, about community, and it will say community. And if you click on community, see if there's a way to follow that page. If I post something on community, you will see that in your feed. If you are subscribed and you have your bell set for notifications, you will see something from me, and it will almost always have a picture. And like I posted today, and I said, you know, this is going to be late today because of this storm. Now the sun is out. So, so anyway, see if there's a way you can follow that community page, because that's where for all of my inside people, that's where I leave messages. And I thank everyone who is a patron of this channel for your monthly support. That means so much to me. And I hope to do better once things calm down, once I know where I'm going to be, that I can give you some more undivided attention. So thank you so much. God bless you. And I will see you very soon. And I'll let you know when I'm going to see you on my community page or Facebook.